one of the things that we all have, and that is 24 hours. You have 24 hours. I have 24 hours. And everybody in the world has 24 hours in a day. No one is short changed on 24 hours. Now we may have situation, or people may have situation where they don't have the full use of 24 hours because of a number of things. Some things are outside of their control. Maybe it's what they've gotten themselves into. Some people, maybe it's because they have certain restrictions, and I get it. However, it doesn't change the fact that you still have, and I still have 24 hours. The question is, how do you spend your 24 hours? How do you spend your 24 hours? This is one of those things that I know it's a non-discriminatory, how should I put it, part of life. This is a equal employer, that's time. And sometimes I've heard people say, and offered to help people with time management. Have you heard that before? Actually, have you taken a time management course? I have. I've taken a number of time management, either course or read books or watched videos or whatever, because I want to be a better manager of my time. And I've come to realize that we cannot manage time. You cannot manage time. I cannot manage time. Who can? We cannot manage time. Time is going to come and go no matter what we do. Time is going to pass us by if we just sit on the sideline. So we can't manage time, but here's what we can do. You and I can manage ourselves with the time that we have. And every one of us have been given 24 hours to make whatever happen. The question is, how are you using your 24 hours? It's amazing that I look around and see some people who are crushing it. They are using their 24 hours in ways that, man, blows me away. And sometimes I ask a question, and people have asked a question sometimes, and maybe you have, or someone have asked you this question: how do you do it? And here's the question they ask, right? Where do you find time for that? I was in a conversation just recently, and someone raised that very statement, that question: where do you find time to do XYZ? And I said, well, it's not that I find time. I have to make time for that, because we make time for what's important to us. People who are crushing it are making time for what's important to them. And they're maximizing their use of their 24 hours. And I want to talk about that with you for briefly, just in case you're wondering who I am and is the first time you're watching this video with this person. I'm Kingsley Grant, and I'm the host of the very popular podcast, The Kingsley Grant podcast. And you can get that on any platforms that you listen to podcasts. That is Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, just to name a few. You can watch that there. I'm also an author of a few books, and my latest book is The Intelligent Leader: Succeed Where Others Failed and Become the Leader Everyone Loves and Wants to Follow. That's available on Amazon. And I just want to let you know that. So thank you for taking the time to watch. But let's get back into what we're talking about here. And that is, you only have, my friend, and I have this here, 24 hours. How do you spend your 24 hours? As I mentioned before, some people are crushing it. They're using their time in incredible manner. And it's amazing to watch what they're doing. Is that you sit back and say, how are you doing that? How are you making that happen, right? It just blows you away, because you're saying, I struggle. I just can't find the time to get XYZ done. But the question is it really true? Let that sit on that for a while. How accurate is that statement that you cannot find time to do what you think what you say is important to you? what you value, what you value the most. And I think we make time for what we value the most. I love the quote by Eleanor Roosevelt. And she said this: some people make things happen, some watch things happen, while others wonder what has happened. The question is, which camp do you fall into? Are you the one that make things happen? Are you the one who is using your 24 hours that you've been given to the best of, the best use of it? Are you doing that? And how are you? And if you're watching live, I would love for you to make sure you hit the heart button and let me know that you are getting some value. If you want to get in and jump in and comment, or just say where you're watching from, you can easily comment and give StreamYard permission to show your comment. You can that'd be awesome, great. So I want to say thank you for if you did that. But how do you spend your 24 hours? And I want to walk you through just now something that I think is very important. So as you're watching, let us kind of look at 24 hours. So I made this up here, and I want to be very generous in my illustration. So we all have 24 hours, right? Okay. Now, here's what happened. Can you see that? Okay. I'm going to give you 8 hours for sleep. I'm going to give you that. So you have 8 hours to sleep. Look what you have left. 16 hours. 16 hours. That's what you have left. Okay. So I want to be very generous here. And the question is, how have you used your 16 hours that you have left? Say, Kingsley, come on now. I got to go to work. I get it. I'm going to be very generous, and let's go down this. I'm going to give you a little bit more than the average. So remember now, we have 16 hours left after 8 hours of sleep, and hopefully you're getting 8 hours of sleep. If you're like me, you're probably not, and I try to, but I'm not. I don't. I've done different things to try to get 8 hours of sleep. And if you know how to get 8 hours of sleep on a regular basis, please let me know. I would love to hear it, love to learn. I've tried, and somehow it doesn't seem to work. Here am I at this time of night doing this video, and so you can tell I'm not going to possibly get 8 hours of sleep tonight. But so I'm going to give you. I say I'm very very generous here, and I give you 8 hours of sleep. So you have 16 hours left. Now, let's go to work. You have 16 hours of 24 hours left. I'm going to be very generous and give you for traveling time and so on. How about this? I'm going to give you, let's see if we can see, 9 hours. Man, how generous can I be? 9 hours of work. That means you have, after work, you have 7 hours left. Now, so 7 hours. So you've worked, you have slept, and you still have 7 hours left. 7 hours. And I'm doing my math hopefully correct, right? So of the 24 hours, you have 7 hours left. My question is to you, how are you spending your 7 hours you have left over after sleep and after work? You may say, like me, I had a time when I had to go to school. So I would study and do my homework, and I had to have family time. So it depends on how you're using, what you have left over. But let's then go and give you, say, of the 7 hours you have left after work and sleep, let's say you have 3 hours for family. 3 hours for family. Can you see that? Let's see here. Make sure it's shown. Boom, boom. Here we go. Okay, come on. There it is. So you have 3 hours of family. So you have 4 hours left. 4 hours. So you've had sleep, 8 hours. You have work. I give you 9 hours, right? That's 17 hours. Then you have 7 hours left. I gave you 4 for family, or 3 for family. Depends on how you want to look at that. The question is now, how are you using the last 3 hours or 4 hours? And I'm being very generous because some people have more than that. So I'm trying to be very conservative in my math. How have you used and how are you using those 3 hours? Here's where I think most people fail and miss it. They fail to use this time in a very good way. And so um, John says he probably gets about 6 hours. Well, John, I'm glad you get 6. We're about the same. So we're doing something good there. And hopefully it's working for you and it's kind of working for me as well. Um, Kenny says, two getting to and from work. Okay, 2 hours to get to work. Man, that's 4 hours of work of traveling time. That's a long time of commute, Kenny. I hope that can be changed for in 2021. Man, it's a lot of time. That's 4 hours. Man, here's the thing. I hope, Kenny, that you're using your 4 hours that you have of commuting. I'm knowing you. I think you're probably using it wisely. But when I have that long in driving, here's what I do. I listen to podcasts or I listen to an audiobook. So I very rarely, my radio, if it very rarely comes on in my car when I'm traveling, because I use in that time and say, well, what can I do in my commute? And so I'm learning, I'm trying to learn something. I'm trying to consume other things that I would not be able to do during work or of course sleep. And so I'm trying to maximize the use of my time. But here's the thing. When you are looking at people who are making things happen and you're saying, how are they doing it? My friend, here's a key. They're taking the time to maximize, to put every hour to work for them, right? They're letting the hour work for them, not working for the hour. And so that is a way that you use your 24 hours. And so if you want to, then as we talked about earlier, if your 24 hours matters to you and you want to make it happen, well, simply you and I, we have no excuses. No excuses. Because that's what most time have, you know, held us back. We make excuses after excuses after excuses. My friend, I hope that 2020 have taught me a lesson. It's not time to make excuses because we never can tell what can happen. Never can tell. So my challenge to you as you're watching this video is, how are you spending your time? As 2020 rolls out and 2021 comes in, one of the things I'm committed to doing in 2021, with God's help, is to truly work towards a more fluid kind of lifestyle, where meaning that I want to become more financially positioned, where I can, of course, give more, serve more, help more, but also have that opportunity to be flexible and adapt. I mean, flexible, really, not adaptable, but flexible, financial freedom, where I can truly do some things that I believe that I've been created for. And so one of those ways I'm entering in the very first part of January. And I want to invite you to also join in on this in the first part of January. It's a program, an 8-week program. It's going to be epic. I have the teacher, my coach for our group is going to lead this. And what he's going to do is walk us through how to grow a 6-figure business in 2021 on autopilot. And here's a catch. Even if you are brand new and have no idea where to start. And so what I've done, I've actually put together for you, if you want to be in on this, right? I want to encourage you to join me, and you'll see this stream at the bottom that you can actually, go to kingsofgrant.com/best year and actually join me in how to do this. I really want you to be a part of this, right? So I'm going to invite you in on this, and I do hope you can be a part of it. I do hope you can be a part of it, right? So if financial freedom is something you want to be to do in 2021, and you want to use your time wisely, what has been mapped out for us is 8 weeks, and every single week there's something that we build on and build on and build on. And I'm gonna be a part of that. And so we're going to be all in this together. I'm committed to the process because it's not just because of the money. The money is important because, come on. So many people have said, oh man, it's all about the money. Well, if you don't have the money, how are you going to do the things you need to do? So let's get past that. Let's get past that kind of, don't give me that. I would say to some people, it sounds like pious and like I'm so, money is not come on, give me a break. We need money. I mean, and many people who talk about that are like those who are like, use their spirituality. And if you think about it, that Jesus talk about money as a topic more than any other subject he did, as one of the highest subject he spoke about. Of course, within context and how to use money and not let it use you. That's the whole point. But you need that. You need that. I need that. if we're going to make this world a better place and have the influence and the impact we can have, we've got to be able to position ourselves financially. Why shouldn't we? Why shouldn't you? Why shouldn't I? So I want to invite you again in this. So if you're interested in joining us, and go to kingsleygrant.com/best year. Kingsleygrant.com/best year. You'll find a workshop, a webinar there, free to watch that and really get an idea, a feel of what I'm inviting you in, and then join us. Join us. So I'm looking forward to seeing you there. Make this your best year yet. But here's the point: you have 24 hours to work the program every day, and so do I. It's how you use it that makes all the difference. My friend, thank you so very much for taking the time to watch and listen and giving those hearts. I appreciate that. And I hope you continue to join and be a part of this. And as you saw tonight, two people kind of chimed in. You can also chime in yourself. And let's have a conversation. And I'd love to hear your input as well, as you saw me do in this video. So my friend, thank you so much for taking the time to listen, to join me. And now I want you to go and kingspire someone. Kingspire someone simply means you're going to take some inspiration from the Kings of Grand show and inspire someone. So let's kingspire someone today and help them become the best version of themselves, and tell them to go to kingsleygrant.com/best year. And I'll see you there. With that said, my friend, peace out. God bless. And I'll see you on the flip side. Yeah.